if we just go through the easy and medium questions, most of the easy and medium questions I'm securing the right marks. This is an abstract reasoning, okay, maybe something, I don't know, not too much. Tough questions, I'm getting wrong answers. All the tough questions I'm getting wrong answers, but it's okay, I still secure 143. So you see, there are not many tough questions. Is there any, let's just see if there was any details of how many tough questions, difficulty level. There are easy 52 questions and 105 hard questions. So you see, tough questions are only 43. So if you can get into this thing, 105 plus 50, 157 questions. So you can see 157 is a solvable type of questions. So this is usually that happens in Mba Cet. Okay, maybe not 150, maybe 130 to 140 are the solvable type of questions. So if you can catch those, you can secure really good marks. And it's very much to secure. It's very much easy and very much possible to secure good marks in Mba Cet. But that's the thing about Mba Cet. It will trick you to make you feel like every question is solvable, or like if you can understand which questions need to be solved, you will. That's the thing about Mba Cet. It's not about the syllabus. Syllabus is easy to medium type. You can complete the syllabus, there is no question about it. But even after completing the syllabus, if you don't know how to solve the mock, that's where you're going to lose marks. So you need to know how to solve mocks. You need to know how to catch the easy and medium questions. So I realize I'm not looking at the camera, I'm looking somewhere else. My bad. Okay, so there were like, you can see 52 easy questions, I secured 48 marks. 4 were wrong. 105 I secured only 73. So it's not like good, like 70% accuracy. But still, that gave me like how many questions? Tough questions, 22 were correct. I would like to say maybe 10 would be right, because everything else would, because I'm also guessing many questions. 10 of them has to be like, half of them would be because of guesswork. I don't think I can secure 22 marks. 22 like I didn't attempt tough questions. That's the reason why. Like every puzzle which was hard, I just selected some option and went through. I didn't give not even like more than 2 or 3 minutes for the questions which I felt it was tough. So 22 is not the right image. If I just if I choose not any, if I never guessed any option, then I would have shown you what was my genuine attempts. Maybe it would have been close to like 120, 110, 120, not 110, maybe 115. 115 would have been genuine attempts, and remaining would have been the guesswork, and out of which 15 or 20 would have been right. So here maybe 10 questions were right. Easy, I can expect all of them to be right. It's because it was very easy, not because I know how to solve it. It was very easy questions. Medium, okay, some of the questions would be wrong. Okay, but you get the idea that you must not skip the easy and medium questions. Like you must understand which are the hard questions and you have to skip it. Like if you don't know how to solve, obviously if you know how to solve, it's a great thing. Like one of the hard questions which I did, which was that Rahul Dravid question. First, it's not supposed to be hard. I don't know why it's considered hard, but let's just say it was a hard question. But I know how to solve it. You should solve it, no question about it. But the questions which are very hard, you should skip. As simple as that. You should skip it. You should not do it, because that saves time to solve the easy question. That saves time to at least attempt the easy questions. If you just keep on solving every other question, and let's just say you attempted 120 questions or 130 questions, and you have only 10 minutes left. So even in the remaining 70 questions, there will be a lot of questions which would be like they can solve. Like you can just see it and you can get the answer, or maybe it will take less than 30 seconds to get the answer. But since now you don't have time, you just lose it. So that is the big chunk of marks that you're going to lose. Like if you see in this, just by 10 marks, just by 20 marks, you will secure from 96 to 99 percentile. That's just a jump from top 15 to top 5 colleges. It's just from that 15-20 marks, and everyone can secure this. I believe that everyone can secure 110 to 120 marks. The syllabus of Mba Cet is easy. If there was no time, if there was unlimited time, anybody can secure 110 to 120 marks. Which basically means everybody has the ability to secure 97 to 99 percentile. It's just the time frame, that time factor which tricks almost everyone, is what making students lose the marks. So we'll get to that. Okay, so let me just. So this was. So if you see here, most of the tough questions I literally skipped. You can see here this one. This was puzzle. I don't know why it's called coding. You see this? This was a puzzle for me, and I read it and I felt like, I can't solve this. I mean, not because I can't, because I realized it will take a lot of time, because I was not getting what the question was asking, and I get the idea what it was, but I just realized it is going to take a lot of time for me. I just skipped it. I just spent some minute or two to understand. You can see here, I spent 32 seconds for this question, this puzzle. I spent 32 seconds to understand what the puzzle is, and the moment I realized it's not, I don't want to solve this, I just gave only 2 or 3 seconds. Like, I'm just selecting an option and do it. So that's the amount of time I gave for a very hard question. Absolutely no time. Like, suddenly I just gave what, 6 or like, okay, one of them got correct. Okay, this was pure guess. See, one of the tough questions I got correct because of a pure guesswork. So that way even guesswork is securing some marks to me. But that's possible. Like, it's obviously you're selecting an option, there's a good chance you get the correct answer. So at least I got 1 mark out of 6 questions, and I'm not even spending a minute. So this is what you have to approach for. This is what people can't do it, even if it's so, like, every professor might have said that you're a professor, you watch a lot of videos, and there are so many excellent professors talking about it. Everyone has said that, yet students can't do it. So because it's not like students' inability, it's the thing about the exam that maybe you will focus on doing what you want to do in the first 1 hour, but in the next 1.5 hour you just do, like, it's very hard. That's the tough part about Mba Cet. The exam is easy, but if you have to maintain that mindset of how to give the exam for the entire 2.5 hours, people can't do that. Just 1 hour and then the patience is gone, you get exhausted. It's because you think it's just 2.5 hour exam. It's not 2.5 hour. It's basically 4.5 hour. Why it's 4.5 hour? You have to reach, like, if the exam is at 9:30, you have to reach by 7:30. And 7:30 to 8:30, that, and the entire process, that's a bit exhausting. Not exhausting, but annoying. And then you get into the room and you have to sit there doing nothing, absolutely nothing. You can't even write the formulas. I don't know whether some centers allow it. The centers that I usually went for bank exams and Mba Cet exams, they don't allow it. So I cannot write formulas, I cannot write anything. I just have to sit there and watch the screen, which shows nothing, absolutely nothing. Can't talk to anybody as well. So doing nothing for 1 hour, and spending 1 hour before in that process of showing the hall ticket and all these things, and then you have to give 2.5 hours for the exam, and that 2.5 hours is like a sprint. It's not even like a sprint, it's like 2.5 hours sprint. That's just crazy, because you have to solve everything within a minute. It's not less, of course, not a minute for every question, but on an average a minute. So some questions you might take 3 minutes, that's fine, but then some questions you have to solve it in 15-20 seconds. Code inequality are not, like, easy code inequality, you cannot give 2 minutes to that. You have to solve within 15-20 seconds. Some basic word problems, the simplest, like, if you given principal amount, there is a rate of interest given, there is years given, you can get interest. Like, it should not take 2 or 3 minutes. You should solve it fast. Average, some simple averages. So that approach is what you have to do, and again, with the mindset that you should not attempt the tough questions, even if it sounds solvable. Let's just say there was this quadratic equation. One of my students was solving this quadratic equation, and the marks, again, I'm not looking at the camera, sorry. So one of the students was solving this quadratic equation, and the number was some huge number. Okay, so there were many factors, and it took 10 minutes for the student to solve. It's an easy question, but it will take time because the factors are a lot of it. Not 10 minutes, like more like 3 or 4 minutes. I would say skip the question. It's a quadratic equation. It's a basic quadratic equation. Just have to find the value of that x. But if the number is very weird, like for you, like not for everyone, some people can find the answer very fast, no problem. But if you can't find the answer, and if it's taking time, even if it's a quadratic equation, skip it. Unless if you are like, let's just say in the first, like I said before, that you almost solved 70 to 80 questions, you're not getting any marks, like you're securing only few marks from that 80 questions. You realize how many questions are right in that, how many you found it right, then yeah, okay, it's up to you. Again, it's not necessary you should solve it, it's up to you. But if you have secured really good marks, if all your attempts are like genuine attempts are very strong and the questions are very much solvable, then you spending 3 or 4 minutes in one question like quadratic equation, it's literally the wrong thing to do for Mba Cet. So that mindset is like, you can keep that mindset for 1 hour, but to maintain that mindset for 2.5 hours, it's crazy. Like the mindset of having 30 minutes for every 40 questions, it's crazy. So that's the thing about what you have to do is you have to, like, that's the point. after 1.5 hour, you reach a point where you don't want to do it, or you were like you're tired of doing it, and that tiredness is going to cost you 10 to 15 marks. Because you're like, "Phew, just want to get out of this room," or maybe like it's okay, I don't mind. That's the level. Even though you're preparing for maybe for a few months or maybe years, maybe an entire maybe a couple of years you'll be trying for it, but that last 30 minutes is going to test that. That 30 minutes is going to either take that 10 marks or 15 marks out of you, because you're simply exhausted by the entire process. So you should be prepared for that, and you should be very, like, even though it's a sprint, you have to see it as a marathon, that you have to run faster when it's required and you have to slow down when it's required, but you should not stop. You should simply not stop. You just need to, even if it's walking, even if you're solid, like, sounds like big words, but that's exactly how it is. Every question is like a battle. You have to choose the battle. You have to win the war. So it's like you might have heard of it, losing the battle but winning the war. You have to win this entire war of 200 questions of 150 minutes. So you have to choose some battles. If you have to reach that 200 questions, you have to choose certain battles, and you have to skip certain battles. You have to lose certain battles. You have to skip some of the questions which even if it seems solvable, you have to skip it, because it's going to cost some time. This is not a puzzle that unsolvable. It can be solvable. It's not like a an impossible set. It might be like, if given time, maybe it is very much like 5 to 10 minutes kind of a puzzle only. If given time, it is possible. But because I realized I can't do it, I just skipped it. So of course you can actually I choose to skip it because the first 30 questions, like you see that almost every question is right. See, I felt it, and that's the reason why I choose to skip it. Like, it's okay for me. But if many of them were wrong, I would have given 5 minutes. So it's okay to give your every, like, puzzles. Of course, it will take 10 to 12 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Should not take 15 minutes, but okay, sometimes understandable. 10 to 12 minutes is the maximum time you should give. So giving 3 or 4 minutes in every puzzle is understandable. It's completely okay. If you can feel that it is solvable, but the moment you feel it's unsolvable time, okay, this is the pattern, I don't know. Some people don't like the patterns where there are 4 factors, like there is floors, there will be age, there will be in which bank, which company they are working, etc. Like, and the name as well. Like, there are 4 factors involved in the puzzle. Some people don't like it. Some people can't solve it. If you are among them, and if that kind of puzzle came, don't try to attempt, because you can't do it. Okay, so it's completely fine, because what you want is 120, 125 marks, and the remaining 10, 15 marks you're going to get from the guesswork. So you want 125 marks, which basically means you can choose not to attempt 75 questions, or you can see that 75 questions can be wrong. So of course, among them there will be 15, 20 questions because of not 15, 10 to 15 questions which will be correct because of the guesswork, which basically we can skip the question. So it's completely fine. You should not feel bad about it. That's the master plan. It's not about you solving all the puzzles and all DI. It's about you securing 140 marks by hook and crook. It's not even hook and crook. That's exactly how Mba Cet should be approached. You should be attempting the marks, the question which you know how to solve, as much as possible, as many as possible. So let's see the more tough questions. See, again, another tough questions. It's all wrong. Some of the medium questions are wrong. I don't know why this was wrong. This was a puzzle, I guess. Yeah. I don't know why this went wrong, but okay. But if you see every other puzzle, every medium questions, and it's almost right. English, maybe there will be some wrong. Yeah, again, this verbal ability, this English vocabulary. I'm not very good in English, like above average, not above average, just above average. Easy, medium, most of them are right. So this is what you have to see. That since you know that there are going to be a lot of I just showed you that 120, 130 questions, easy questions will be there, easy to medium questions will be there. So you have to practice, you have to attempt, you have to practice all the sets, all the topics, at least in the basic level. You should know at least the basic of the question. Forget the tough part, forget the formula part. At least the basic. That even if okay, some simple interest which requires a lot of big formulas, you don't know how to solve simple interest. You don't like the topic, fair enough, don't attempt. But at least you should know what the topic is. Because if even the easiest of sums will be right. If I can show you some of the easiest question. No, not this one. There was one of few questions which are very easy. And it's very hard to find actually. Obviously I don't remember which question, but if I can find some of them. Give me a minute. Not this one. Maybe this one. Yeah, let's just talk about this one. Okay, so what is the area of triangle? Half into base. Okay, you might not like geometry, but you know what the area of triangle is. Half into base into height. You have what is this question? In triangle ABC, AB is equal to 2 cm, AC is equal to 25 cm. What is the area of triangle? You know area of triangle is half into base into height. So you already have height. You want the base. What is the base? Now you have this Pythagoras theorem. You can solve this. This is the hypotenuse. This is the one side. Of course, you can find the other side. So this is 25 centimeter. This is 2 centimeter. So 25 square is 625 minus 4 is 621. Root of 621 is this side. And what will be the area? Half into base into height. So half into root of 621 into 2. So 2 will get cancelled. It's root of 621. Now these are the options. So just by knowing the formula of half into base into height and the area of triangle and Pythagoras theorem, you almost get the answer. Now you are root 621. So one of them has to be right. So if this is either it's 6 root 69 or it's 3 root, it's not 3 raised to, I realize that it's not 6 raised to 69, it is 6 root 69 and 3 root 69. So what is 3 root 69? It basically means square root of 9 into 69. So when 9 goes out, it becomes 3. So let's try to divide 621 by 9, because this is 6 root 69, which basically means 36 into 69, square root of 36 into 69. Now 621 divided by 36, I won't get 69 as the answer. What I'm doing is now I'm splitting 621 into two numbers, and one of them has to be 36 or 9, because there are the options. Every 69 cannot be the answer. Root of 621 is not 69. So let's just assume that. Let's just divide 621 by 9. 621 by 9, we get the answer 69. So now you get 621 as 9 into 69, and square root of 9 is 3 root 69. So I didn't get 3 root 69, like 621, I didn't get 3 root 69. I saw from the option and tried to get the option. I got root of 621, but I don't know which one of them is root of 621. So I tried to get it. So this is where you didn't know the formula, you didn't know how to solve it, but just by knowing the basics, you got the answer. So maybe you are someone who don't like geometry, but knowing the basics helps. So these questions is very, like, this will take maybe one and a half. Like, okay, how long will it take to get Pythagoras theorem? Like, the numbers are easy, 25 and 2, 45 seconds. And half into base into height, again maybe 20 seconds. Okay, 2 and 2 are getting, it's literally like 15 seconds, but again let's just say 30 seconds. So you already get within a minute or 1 minute 15 seconds, you already get root of 621. Now you already have three options. So selecting one option, 69, obviously it's wrong. 6 root 69, which basically means 36 into 69, which is not going to get 621. Again, this option is wrong. Now it could be either 3 root 69 or it could be none of this. That's why just for the assumption you go for it. Maybe it will take another 45 seconds, but you get the correct answer. You took 2 minutes, but you get the correct answer. How long did I take? 1 minute. Okay, also I know how to solve it, so it helps. But even if you didn't, it's important. Yeah, it is true that most of the questions should be solved within a minute, but scoring marks is also important. Just because this one particular question you are not scoring in a minute, you should skip it. If you can solve within a minute, if you can solve within 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it's fine. Don't solve every question within 3 minutes, but solving at least 10 to 50 questions is completely fine if it's solvable. Because scoring marks is more important than saving time. I mean, both are important, but higher weightage is obviously scoring marks, because if you can't score marks, if you save a lot of time, if you can attempt 200 questions and within 100 minutes, let's just say, what's the point if you didn't score any marks, right? You don't know how to solve it, so you selected an option, went away. But you could have scored that mark if you gave extra minute. So it's completely important to secure marks, and if you are going to take extra minute for it, it's completely fine. So that's where the awareness should come, that even though you created a concrete plan, the flexibility should be there, where you should be flexible enough to give extra time to certain questions. Even if it's not required, it's completely fine, because you're securing marks. Securing marks, it should be your highest priority, and just below it, like 100% priority should be on securing marks, 99% priority should be on saving time. But of course, securing marks is more important. So if you can solve it, solve it. If it takes 2 or 3 minutes, fine. But don't do it all the questions. If there are like, you reach like after 30-35 questions, you reach a point where this question is solvable, solve it. No question about it. Because scoring marks is more important. So this is another question. Let's just say linear arrangement. Okay, this was puzzle. Again, I just took 3 minutes to understand. No, sorry, 1 minute to understand the puzzle. And I realized I cannot solve this. Okay, this is 10 Punjabi families, and there were like 10 rooms, 5 on each side or something like that, and there were many families and there were like many relationships, there were many data to be solved. So maybe it was solvable, but just by the idea of like, first of all, by reaching at this point I realized I solved a lot of questions. I don't want to waste time on something which I'm not sure whether I'm going to get the answer. Yes, if I haven't scored really good marks, like you can feel how many questions you attempted genuinely and how many questions were solvable type. But if you felt that okay, the entire until 130 questions my attempts is not good, of course you get to give time. But if you are like in this the way I solved, okay, now I can guarantee I secured good marks. But even at that time you can feel that you secured good enough marks because almost all of them were right up the entire time, like you're within the time frame, you're going exactly as planned, which basically means the exam is going really good for you. Then you have a choice whether you have to attempt it or not, and I choose not to attempt it, which basically means it would have taken 10 to 12 minutes. I saved that 10-12 minutes, and that helps in attempting other questions. Luckily I got one more guesswork, but it's not you cannot guarantee that, of course. Syllogism, okay, one syllogism I got wrong, I don't know why. For some reason I should not get this wrong, but okay, maybe in our syllogism lecture we'll solve this. I don't know why it's wrong, but never mind. You can see most of the, okay, this was tough. Why is this tough? I don't know why this was tough. I think it's medium. I guess medium tough, you can say that, but not literally tough. This was not a tough question. Okay, I know this question. This was very easy. This is more like an order ranking question. Okay, this too was not a tough question, so solvable type. But what you can also see is the time. I'm not giving too much time. I'm not giving 3 minutes to any questions as such. Maybe for one person, maybe 3 minutes, 3 minutes or 4 minutes. But usually I'm giving, if you see, I'm giving 1 minute here, I'm giving 35 seconds as well. If I'm giving 1 minute 21 seconds here, I'm also giving 39 seconds as well, 36 seconds. So the average is fine. So it's okay to be like, seriously, 1 minute 39 questions, which is just coding to coding. I don't know. I don't remember what was the answer. 20. Okay, BAT is 2012. Okay, T is 20, A is 1, B is 2. Okay, so T is 20, A is 1, numerical value of letters, B is 2. Made, E is 5, D is 4, A is 1, M is 13. So you found the answer very fast, and so that took some time. But I know that it will take some time to get the answer, but I was sure that I can get the answer. So I spent extra time for it, and I think no, not this one. I think the same pattern was there for another question, I guess. No, not sorry. But either way, I realized that I can solve this question, and I gave time. So it's completely important to give time because you have to secure marks. This was some coding. I think I reached this point where I was bored of it. I didn't want to solve it because I already attempted, again, this was mock, so I just tried to solve as fast. I just want to complete the mock, but I tried to solve just by looking at the question. Like if I can solve it, I'll do it, else I won't. That's the reason why you see 14 seconds. Okay, you cannot solve blood relation in 14 seconds. I mean, you can solve, of course, but this is me just assuming and trying to do from my mind rather than making sure that whether I'm right. So when you make sure, of course, 14 seconds is not the time. So you can see that I'm right now. I'm just trying to solve as fast as possible. This was a puzzle, but I think not like a puzzle, but direction sense. But there was something I was confused about the question, so I read a lot, and this annoyed me more because I would already spent 2 hours, and then this question comes which I can't understand. It's like I just thought of not solving. So you can see that if I give time, I could have secured more. That doesn't mean that I'm someone very smart or anything like that. The question is solvable. If I have recorded the entire mock, and I will upload the video after this, and you can see the entire questions. Even you will find it solvable. But it's not that the questions were unsolvable. Even you can secure 120, 130 out of it. But the fact that the awareness of me choosing to skip questions, the awareness of me realizing this question is easy, yet I am choosing because I just didn't want to, because it might take some time the awareness of some questions which was very hard and realizing it as fast as possible, that secured me 160 marks, 143 marks. I could have secured 153 if I attempted seriously. Maybe I could have get that, but that's because this mock can give you marks. But the reason why you are not going to get marks is not because the questions are tough. It's like there are times where marks are going to be there will be some marks which are going to be very tough. Let's just say if this exam is getting tougher, if it's then everybody is going to feel the toughness. Even you will score less marks, even the topper will score less marks. But the reason why the topper scores the highest marks is because they can manage the time well. If you manage the time well, you can secure the 130, 140, 150 as well. Not because it's very every questions are very hard, but I managed to find some shortcuts or no. It was very pretty easy questions. But time management is the most important thing in this exam. So if you can see, literally like less than a minute is what I'm giving to almost every question. Not necessary everywhere. Some questions which was solvable, I took more time. The coding which I showed you 2 minutes before, I gave more time because I was securing good marks. I was securing the right marks. So I did that. So that awareness is important. And maintaining this awareness for 2.5 hours is the toughest task. You can maintain this awareness, maintain your strategy, everything for maximum 1.5 hours. But the last 1 hour is the one that takes the soul out of it. Let me tell you that's the toughest part. So just like keep that be steady. Make sure that if you're fast, great, but make sure you're steady. That's the most important thing.